The cold winter weather is coming, and the team at Peerless Boilers, they're ready to help you prepare for this season. It's time to make sure your home is nice and warm for the cold weather. Save loads of money on your fuel bill. Do it now before it's too late and you've got a mess on your hands. Start thinking about replacing your old beast of a boiler with a new high-efficiency Peerless Boiler. Go to peerlessboilers.com, pop in your zip code, and you'll find a dealer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers, and proud sponsor of Sid and Friends in the Morning, live from Israel.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning. 77 WABC.
Oh, good tune, Lewis. Good tune. I didn't realize that my man John Catsimatidis, John and Rita were having Trump on today. You don't want to miss that. John does a great job with Trump. Trump loves John, just so you know that. He really does. Loves me, but he loves John. And the one thing Catsimatidis always does when he has Trump on, like Brian Kilmeade did yesterday, he gets my name in there. I know you're going to do it, John. I know. Big rally Sunday. My guy Sid's going to be there. So make sure you're listening to President Trump coming up at 5 with John and Rita. Last night, my guy Mike Sapraicone debated Kirsten Gillibrand on New York 1 election just 12 days away. Let's catch up with our buddy running for Senate here in the state of New York. Michael, good morning, pal. How are you?
Good morning, Sid. Great to be here. And, last night she still talked like a Washington politician. That's what her concerns are. She sprued off a bunch of stuff that she said she's done. But to us here in the state of New York, people don't even understand what she's talking about half the time. It's not about words, it's about actions. And people here are concerned about the food they put on their table, about the crime in the streets, and about the illegal immigrants coming in here. And when I said to her last night, Senator, why? I applaud you for the work you've done on sexual assault, especially in the military, but how can you possibly, in good conscience, how can you allow these illegal criminals, thousands and thousands, to come into this state? Just early this year, a 13-year-old girl in Queens was raped by a illegal immigrant. How can you expect the people of New York to trust you and reelect you when you've caused this crisis? And, Sid, she really had no answer as she moved on to something different. And those are the things we care about here in New York.
I'm curious about Errol Lewis. I think he's a racist jerk-off. I can't stand him. He's tweeted nasty things about me for years, and we've had this ongoing war. I know he was the moderator yesterday, and I know he held your feet to the fire. We'll get to it about mass deportation. But how was he in terms of moderator? Was he fair?
I thought he was fair, and we had a little conversation afterward. His father's a retired police lieutenant. So we had a little conversation. I'd never met him before. I thought he was fair.
Okay. So I know we held your feet to the fire again with mass deportation, something that President Trump has been talking about. He knows, of course, that the president is endorsing you and you guys have a nice relationship. And, hey, what are you going to do, Mike? You're going to send them all home? And, of course, no one has said that. What Trump has basically said, and you, is the criminals. We're getting the criminals out of here, but that's not how they convey it, including Lewis. So how did that exchange go last night?
I think it was fine. I made it clear. Listen, that's not realistic that we're going to be able to do that right away. Let's start with where the real problem is. Let's start with sending the criminals back. They need to go back and be deported. And then let's take it step by step by step there. And I made it clear that Gillibrand is still talking about reimagining ICE and how important ICE is not just to the people of this state and the people of this country, but to law enforcement to help them.
She still wants to reimagine ICE? She said that?
Well, she said it in the past. Last night, I said it to her, and she didn't go at it. She just let it move on.
Got it.
Other than saying that we need to reevaluate things.
Let me ask you this, and again, because I didn't see the whole debate, I'm not sure if this was covered. But you've already talked about immigration here. You've already talked about some of the work she's done in terms of sex abuse. That's all great. But the upstate region of New York, where she basically lives, I think she lives by Troy, that has been an economic disaster forever. And all these governors, whether it was Andrew Cuomo or this Hochul, they have promised forever to improve that situation. Maybe casinos, generate some revenue. But, of course, they shut down the pipelines and did all this stuff that would put people back at work. But that area up there has been an economic disaster where she lives and she basically serves. Did that come up last night?
Not really. I mean, they talked about bringing a casino downstate, and I would be in favor of that, and I did agree. but we didn't talk about. But I'm sitting in Albany right now, and that's where she told me last night. That's where she lives. And there's been, I think, 3 shootings in Albany in the last 2 days. As you drive around Albany and you look at businesses closed, you know, I talked about what we need to really reimagine is bringing industry back to the state to get better jobs. That's how we drive inflation down. That's how we pick the economy up. Small businesses are important, and I don't think they realize that. I don't think she understands how important it is to get small businesses back to flow in this state, to keep people here, to keep people in New York, to keep families together, to get better opportunity. And that's what we're not doing. And then, you know, I spoke again about when you sit down at your table on Thanksgiving Day, you're paying 25, 30% more than you paid in the last 3 or 4 years. And that's what people understand. That's what they want to hear about, not necessarily every other bill or how the Republicans did not secure the border by not voting. And I said to her, you know, you're in the majority, Senator. You were in the majority in the Senate. You never put that bill on the floor. You keep blaming Trump. You blame the Republicans. How about you didn't have enough juice, enough influence after 15 years to get that bill passed in the Senate and then move it on to the House?
Let's talk about where the polls are right now. You know, we read a story yesterday. Brian Kilmeade was on with me, and he said that Anthony D'Esposito was losing out on Long Island, and it turns out that nothing could be further from the truth. If the election was today, Anthony would win. Now, I did see a poll a couple days ago. You were down significantly to Gillibrand, but again, I take all these polls with a grain of salt. What are your people telling you on the ground about what they're seeing in the polls with Election Day now just 12 days away?
Not to read the paper. That's what they're telling me. But, you know, this is just it's a snapshot, Sid. That's all it is. I'm not even concerned about it. I think we're getting our message out. You know, Anthony will do well. Nick will do well. I heard you talking about them earlier. I'm going to be with Mike Lawler on Saturday up in Rockland. Tonight I'm in Herkimer. Tomorrow I'm in Greene County. You can't pay attention to the polls. You got to pay attention to the people. And everybody I talk to talks about how we need change. And that's what I'm saying to everyone. We need change. It's about time. And I think we're going to be surprised on the morning of the 6th when we wake up, because there's a lot of people who don't want to say in public that they're voting for President Trump. But you know, and I know, there are people out there who are going to vote for President Trump. He's going to win New York. I'm going to win New York right under him. I'm going to win this state. We're going to go right down the ticket, bring in all the congressmen we need to bring in all the state senators, the state assembly people, our local politicians. We're going to win New York back. We're going to change this to a 2-party system here in New York. And I think we're ready. It's about timing, sitting. You know as well, I know this is the time. I'm going to see you Sunday, I guess. I'm going to be there at the Garden on Sunday. So looking forward to that and getting everybody all worked up.
No, it's going to be great. On the way out, Mike, for people that want to help you with your campaign, website, what's the easiest way to help Mike Sapraicone get that win today?
Mike Sapraicone for Senate, and there's a lot of chatter going around about last night's debate and about what we're going to do in the state to change it and bring back common sense. So, Sid, I always appreciate being with you and look forward to seeing you Sunday.
Yeah, I'll see you on Sunday, buddy. Have a good day. I know you got an interview coming up right now. Thank you for hopping on with us this morning, and we'll see you in a few days, folks. That is your Senate candidate here in New York running against Kirsten Gillibrand, Mike Sapraicone.